New voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Gotta get on your job, tell them haters get on your job. Motivation. Get on your job, tell them haters get on your job. Hey, motivation. Haters better get on your job, tell them haters get on your job. This motivation. Sucker, get on your job. If you hating, get on your job. You can look me in my eyes, see I'm ready for whatever. Anything don't kill me, make me better. I ain't dead.
You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome in. It is Thursday. I hope you have had an amazing week and are ready to, have your pre-Friday, Friday Junior with me here on KBLA Talk 1580. This is the show, of course, where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. I am your host, Jill Munroe. And naturally, we have a big list of things to talk about tonight. We're going to get into them. But first, if you're not already, go download the app. If you haven't already, I should say, because we want you to be able to listen to us wherever you are on the go and at your leisure if you like. You can also leave us a message there because there's a messaging app there. You can record a message for myself or anybody here at the station. Are you following us on social? KBLA 1580. Make sure you hit that up. Make sure you are following me at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Say hi. I say hi back. And, of course, if you want the visual experience to go along with this audio experience, hit us on YouTube. We are there. The chat, they have a lot going on. They're always opinionated, sharing their thoughts. And lastly, of course, if you want to call in and give your opinion on any topics that we cover tonight, or just say hi, hit us up, 800-920-1580. We appreciate it. Now, let me give you the rundown of what we're going to get into tonight. So, Deion Sanders, he's a movement all by himself. Wherever he goes, he creates a wave. And he has announced coming in 2024, he is releasing a motivational book. We're going to get into that. And we're also going to look at, there's been a plethora of celebrity memoirs and books that have come out over the past couple of months. And we're going to look at, are you really interested in them? Is it enough with the highlights? Are you paying attention? A lot of them are New York Times bestsellers, but are we getting weary of them exposing their business, or are we just saying that to have something to say? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about comedian Monique. Now, we've heard this from her before, but she goes into a little bit more detail. She says that her husband, Sidney, daddy raised her. We're going to talk about that. She is not the only married woman that has made the same claim. I'm going to tell you that a superstar woman, someone that people love and respect in a different sort of way, because people love and respect Monique, obviously, has said the same. And is this a bad thing? Because people are, they have a lot of opinions. We're going to talk about that. And in the third hour, we are going to get into which actor has more range. It's a question that's been going around social media. I don't believe there is actually an answer for this, but maybe there is. So the debate is, who has more range? Denzel Washington, Academy Award winner, 2 times over, legend, or Jamie Foxx, also an Academy Award winner, legend. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, we have our conversation starters, and, the Taste of Soul is here in LA on Saturday. We have a guest in the building. We're going to talk about her and her journey with her food truck and about the food that she cooks, her story, and how you can check her out this weekend. So we have Chef D-Bomb of Wings on Wheels. We're going to talk about that because, who doesn't love a good wing? And I heard the wing sauce is amazing. So there's a review up from a guest that was here a few weeks ago. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, like I said, there's some conversation starters that we need to get into. A couple of topics that we have seen that are bubbling, but don't have quite enough time to get into the stories tonight. First of all, we want to say condolences to the family of DJ Mark the 45 King. He is a hip-hop legendary producer. He passed away at the age of 62. His work with Queen Latifah, Jay-Z, Eminem is legendary. If you're unfamiliar who he is the producer behind I believe it was 900 number. Yeah. Ed Lover used to use that as his intro. And then later on, it was made into a track, Let Me Clear My Throat. You've heard that everywhere. He also produced Jay-Z's A Hard Knock Life with the Annie sample. He produced Stand by Eminem. So that alone tells you the quality of work. He is also responsible for Queen Latifah's first single back in 88 maybe, 89, Wrath of My Madness. And if you are, this is a deep cut, an X-Clan fan from back in the day, he produced Heed the Word of My Brother. So, legendary producer. He was born Mark Howard James in New York. He was down with the Flavor Unit. He also produced heavily on Latifah's debut album, All Hail the Queen, including the hit with Moni Love, Ladies First. So we want to send condolences to his family, get into some of the hits that he has produced because they are legendary. And, know your hip-hop history. We got to give our flowers at times before we're at this point. So appreciate that. Also, there might be some budding relationship news going on two people that were just in a relationship. We don't know. Could just be friendship. Could just be company. But Lupita Nyong'o, you know her from Black Panther, a bunch of other things. We know the list. Academy Award winner as well. The theme of the night. And Joshua Jackson, who is the ex of Jodie Turner-Smith. They just separated. Were spotted at a Janelle Monáe concert in Inglewood recently. And, they might just be friends. They might just be hanging out, having a good time, enjoying music. However, they both have recently parted ways with their significant others. And people thought they looked a little close. People are always on the lookout. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. Also, see, this is my thing. It's called X now, right? But it's still Twitter, because what do you do on X? What is it called when you post to X? What is that? An X? We don't know. They haven't said. So if you were still on the app formerly known as Twitter, X, they're debating on charging new users $1 annually to be able to post. They say it's an experiment to keep out the bots, and they won't be able to interact so that you'll know that you're not a bot. And they're going to start testing it out in New Zealand. So $1 for the year to have access to Twitter. Think about this. If Twitter has, let's say, 200 million new users in a year, and they charge all of them $1, that's a nice source of income, right? We'll see what happens with that. We're going to get into our stories, and we are going to get into Wings on Wheels with Chef D-Bomb. On the other side, you are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that for Bree's car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Bree's car clips right on your VIN. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy for Breeze. La 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 la.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When is the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to sleep at night, or whether anyone cares about them.
But the reality is, 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving them the support and tools they need to succeed in life. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, I have a guest tonight, and I'm already starting off a little on the wrong side, but it's okay. We're going to make this right. I have in studio with me Chef D Boom of Wings on Wheels. Because, you know, listen, who does not love an amazing wing? So you're going to be at the Taste of Soul this weekend, right? Yes. You were at Hot Water Cornbread last weekend. I saw LA Try Guy hit you up and tried the strawberry, what is it? The
Wild's Crack Juice. It's our strawberry lemonade.
Yes. And I'm like, what, girl? And he was raving about the wing sauce and whatever. So first, tell me what made you decide to get into this business of food trucks and catering. I mean, that's a lot to take on, right?
Yes, it really is. So I started years ago because I used to just cook every day. I loved to cook. I was raised by my grandmother. She cooked for the church. She used to sell plates. So I had got into cooking because my friends used to always say, girl, you sitting up here cooking these meals every day. You need to like really start a restaurant. And I was like, I was a little nervous. So when the recession had hit back in 2009, I was trying to figure out, like, what could I do? Because as we all know, at that time, everything was a little crazy. So I sat with the financial advisor, you know, told him, he's like, what do you love to do? I said, I love to cook. He said, well, you know, won't you start your own brand? I said, well, I was thinking about franchising with maybe a restaurant. He said, no, create your own thing. You love to cook and start. So I was like, okay, well, do I start with a brick and mortar? He was like, no, I would start mobile. Mobile food trucks are big right now. So I was like, okay. So I went to the art institution, went to culinary art school to become a chef, and I got my first food truck in 2012.
So from 2012 till now, how much has changed around the food truck industry? Because now it's its own separate thing, you know, it's elevated, like there are festivals that we see for it. So for you as a business owner, what has changed through that process, especially considering you have formal training? So
yes, a whole lot has changed from there to now. Sorry. Okay. When I first started, it was more of like back in the day, they used to call them the roach coaches. So they were like, you know, the white basic type trucks. And then I was trying to figure out, like, how come I'm not getting into these festivals? How come I'm not getting into, you know, major places like a lot of these other trucks? So the food truck world had kind of changed. And so you kind of had to be considered gourmet. So gourmet, that's when all the food trucks started wrapping. You see all the colorful, all the wraps and stuff like that. So I had to upgrade myself from the basic white truck to the wrapped gourmet food truck. And that's when I started getting to places like NBC Studios for lunches, Cartoon Network. I used to do Diamond and Supreme Clothing on Fairfax. And that's how I was able to kind of get into there. And then I had to kind of just network. As anything else in a lot of businesses, it was politics.
So has the wrapping the food truck, has that helped you with marketing? And so you mentioned politics and networking. Did you find that challenging? Were you just like, I'm really just interested in this food, or did you dive into that aspect of it?
Yes, I kind of had to do both kind of to an extent, because I came into the food truck game really knowing nothing. I didn't know anybody who owned one. I had nobody to give me any advice. So I kind of just had to get out there and learn, because it was something I really wanted to do. And I knew food was always going to be around, whether it was a recession, a pandemic, people still have to eat.
That is facts. So as you're getting these referrals and bigger jobs, how is that as a business owner expanding? Because part of the appeal to a mobile food service is that it's small, it's lean, but I'm sure as you're getting bigger jobs, you have to expand in different ways. So how do you do that in, considering that you, in theory, you have a small space?
Yeah, so I pretty much had to start expanding by my different locations, and then also adding other things. So like now, outside of the food truck, I do private event catering. I've added event decorating and event planning. So I'm kind of like a one-stop shop type thing, because I was finding where people were calling me and was like, okay, well, you cater. Do you know anybody who decorates and this and that? So I was kind of like brokering out some of the things that I was not doing at the time. And now I'm not really I don't have my food truck anymore, but I came to learn that the catering and the private events is almost not as much work and a little bit more lucrative than being on a food truck on a daily basis.
So if people want to catch you, they have to catch you at the events, right?
Yes, they have to catch me at events, festivals. I'm already signing up next year for a lot of the jazz festivals. I'm trying to get into the fairs, but most people have to catch me at festivals, pop-ups, or call me for their private events.
Right? Yeah. Come through, like, we want the thing. So based off your menu, what are fan favorites, and then what are your personal favorites that are on your current menu?
So when I first started, when I did my first taste tester back in 2012, everybody, let me reverse a little bit. So when I decided to do the food truck, I wanted to be different. So when I was going out to the different little festivals and things, I realized nobody was doing wings. Some people were doing the frozen wings, but I was like, that's not really wings. So when I did a taste tester, I did wings with sauces. I made 5 different sauces from scratch, and every time a person took a bite, they said, wow. So I was like, wow. So I was like, I think that's what my name's going to be, is wow. So then I realized that Wings on Wheels was the abbreviation of wows. So I started off with wings. That's what I'm really known for. And my sauces, because that's what I've been doing since 2012. I've added a lot of other items and dishes to my menu since then, but when I first started off, my sweet chili and my honey sauce was what Wings on Wheels was known for.
Okay, so and now what is your favorite sauce?
Ooh, now my favorite sauce is the mango habanero and still the sweet chili.
Okay. So when you think about cooking, what does it do for you personally? Like when you see someone enjoying your food?
Oh my God. That's like, it's almost like when you feel like you've accomplished something. And since I've been cooking, I might have had like 2 returns. I cook because I know how I like my food cooked. So I put myself in the consumer's shoes, not just like, oh, I'm a business owner trying to make money. I'm really big on my presentation, and if I don't like it, I won't even sell it.
Okay. Okay. So for you going through this process, right? When you create a whole event, what does that entail? What goes into that for you?
First, I think about what the environment's gonna be. So then I have to think about what my dishes are. What do I think will sell? You know, I always have to do wings because as soon as people see my pop-up tent, even though it's Wild's Kitchen, one of my emails is Wings on Wheels. So I started off with the Wings on Wheels email back in 2012. So I tried to keep that. So they're like, oh, you guys have wings? You guys have wings? So I always like, even at the Taste of Soul this weekend, I decided to throw wings and fries in there because I'm also known for my Wild's fries. That's one of my other favorite dishes.
Okay, so tell us about Wild's fries. You can't just blow past that.
So Wild's fries, like I said, when I first started, I really wanted to be different. I didn't want to just get frozen fries and throw them in the fryer and serve them. So I was at home one day and I cut up some fries and I was like, you know, I want a crisp to my fries. So I created this batter. I created some seasoning and I threw it on top, and everybody was like, wow, when they ate the French fry. So I named the fries Wild's Fries. So I'm also known for my fries because it has like a batter on it, and I don't think anybody's fries taste like mine.
Okay. So what is on the menu for the Taste of Soul?
So for the Taste of Soul, I was gonna do hibachi, fried lobster tails, but then I ended up doing it at the hot water cornbread. And when I went for my orientation, I said, hey, do I have to keep the menu that I came with when I did my taste tester? And they were like, we really think you should because nobody's coming like you. So I said all that to say my menu is dressing, not stuffing. So I'll be
What's the difference for you?
The difference for me is dressing is made out of like cornbread, different seasonings. You put I put onions, celery, butter. I bake my turkey and I use the juices from the turkey to kind of create the fluff, to create the dressing. To me, stuffing is the box stuffing. It doesn't have the doesn't have all the vegetables and the goodies that the down south puts in it. So we'll be having dressing. We'll be having our green beans. We'll be having our sweet potato casserole. We will be having our mac and cheese, and our meats are going to be brisket and either baked Cornish hen or a deep fried Cornish hen.
Okay.
So we're kind of coming with an early Thanksgiving dinner. And I did that as well to hopefully promote the company to be able to sell Thanksgiving dinners for families that don't want to cook, don't feel up to cooking. They could call Wild's Kitchen and we could
get it going on.
Yes.
Shannon Thompson in the chat says you are making her hungry. Listen.
Well, come on Saturday, and then we're also gonna have our wings. I'm gonna have five different sauces: lemon hot, sweet chili, lemon pepper, mango habanero, and our buffalo.
Okay, lemon hot, like lemon spicy hot.
Yeah,
wet.
It's like a buffalo with a little lemon pepper seasoning on top.
I love that. That sounds nice. So, what are your future plans? Like, do you want to stay small and lean, doing, events here and there? Do you want to expand out? Do you want to expand out of states? What are your plans?
Yes, my plans are to start building brick and mortars. Right now, I'm debating. I'm an Orange County girl.
Okay.
So, I'm from Orange County, but I have a good following in LA, but I also have a good following in Orange County. I also have a good following in the IE because I lived there for years, but the IE didn't really allow food trucks.
Oh, wow.
In the beginning. They just started allowing food trucks like maybe 3 years ago. So I'm just kind of debating. I feel like it's a need in the IE. Even though I do have a lot of foodies out here that love my food, but I'm really trying to service the areas that it's a need.
That they don't get as much exposure and things like that.
Yes.
Okay. That would be nice. So here's the thing, right? What is your work day like? Because I know the prep and going through all of that must be crazy.
Man, it's crazy. Even for the Taste of Soul, I literally been prepping since last week. I've been prepping as far as just, not really necessarily my product of what I'm cooking, but just the equipment, everything I'm going to need. 350,000 people is a lot of people, even though I know I won't be serving, but to just interact with 350,000 people is something that you have to really prepare for.
So how do you, if you think about something like that, how much food do you have to be prepared to prepare for an event like that where the crowd is that large?
Man, for me personally, I'm preparing for a good about 250 to 400 people.
Okay. Well, you, of course, have to let everyone know where they can find you on Instagram, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to check you out if they are ordering for an event or they need to track where you're going to be.
Yes. So you could follow me on Instagram. You could look it up under Wings on Wheels or Wow's Kitchen. And the reason why I kind of promote both is because once I do the brick and mortar, that's going to be the name, Wow's Kitchen.
Okay. And lastly, right, do you know approximately where on the along the Taste you'll be located, so
yes,
we know where to find you?
Yes, I do. At first I was like, oh man, they had me way down by Coliseum, but it's actually a blessing because they said I would be right by the gospel stage and right by Tiffany Haddish's beer garden.
Okay, the company thing. So if you are hitting up the Taste of Soul on Saturday, make sure you check out Chef D Boom. Right?
Yes.
Right. And Wild's Kitchen, Wings on Wheels. Let me know. I need to hear the feedback. I want to hear about the cracked lemonade. I'm very curious because I consider myself a lemonade connoisseur.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So I'll definitely have to drop you guys off somebody.
Yeah, you just like tart stuff. So, lemonade's favorite for everybody. So, well, thank you for coming in. I love your story. 13 years, applause all around for that.
Yes.
Continued success, and we look forward to hearing more of your story and seeing you next time. And she says she's going to bring food next time, y'all. Ooh.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Listen, when we come forward, like I said, we have a lot to get into. We're going to get into Deion Sanders' book. I'm going to tell you exactly what it's about, the title. What I can tell you is there will be 21 lessons in it, right? I'm also going to share with you, and I actually should have started with this. How far would you go for a meal? There's a man in Spain that has faked 20 heart attacks at fancy restaurants where he's ordering lobster and oysters and all types of expensive whiskeys and avoiding paying the bill. He falls out on the floor. We'll get into that and more. I know somebody probably is not going to be trying that with Chef D Boom this weekend because it's not going to work.
No.
All of that and more. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is up next.
Motivate, sucker can't make me suffer, just make me stronger and make me tough. Me locked in a box, looking happy to see. Put anybody on top, any rapper but T.I.P. But back to reality, G. O.D. still carrying me.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York State is updating its training for child welfare reporters. Child Welfare Deputy Commissioner Gail Gagan-Pratt, who is black, says the change aims to address racial bias when it comes to reporting cases of abuse and neglect. The former medical director of Seattle Children's Hospital's Odessa Brown Children's Clinic is suing the healthcare system for racial discrimination and retaliation. Dr. Benjamin Danielson filed the lawsuit. Danielson said the hospital permitted the use of racial slurs, failing to remedy known incidents of systemic racism and more. Jacksonville, Florida is cashing in on a multi-million-dollar settlement with the Mayor's Bank. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland was in the city recently to detail the $9 million agreement, saying the bank's local branches repeatedly redlined communities of color. Amaris was accused of not providing mortgage services to people living in predominantly black and Hispanic neighborhoods throughout the city. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Don't let a traffic accident ruin your day. Visit fixautousa.com to find the nearest Fix Auto location. Their highly trained and certified technicians will have you back on the road in no time. You have a choice on who fixes your vehicle. Tell your insurance agent that you want to go to Fix Auto.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This season, your coffee orders are getting warmer, and your outfits are getting cozier. The world keeps changing, and so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're one of the best ways to help protect yourself against COVID-19. You can get a COVID-19 shot at the same visit as a flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Talk to your healthcare provider to learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. And don't forget to get extra cinnamon spice. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose America.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Get away with that, you criticize our method of how we make records. You said it wasn't art, so now we're gonna rip you apart.
Stop, check it out, my man. This is the music of a hip-hop band. Jazz, well you can call it that.
But this jazz retains a new format.
Point, when you misjudged us, speculated, created a fuss.
You've made the same mistake politicians have, talking all that jazz.
Welcome in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. I am, of course, your host, Jill Munroe. You know, that was Stetsasonic. Talking all that jazz. Was that a Mark the 45 King produced cut, Andy? No? Okay, I was just checking. I didn't know, because, you know, that is golden era hip-hop. Stetsasonic. Listen, they were fly guys. I don't know if you even remember what they used to look like back in the day, how they were in the video. They had the big gold rope chains and the sweatsuits and stuff like that. And they were considered different because they did include that jazz element. We were so musical back then. At any rate, shout out to Aubrey Sinclair in the chat. He hasn't heard that in a while. He's amazed by it. He also pointed out that Mark the 45 King produced King T as well. So shout out to the LA legend. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. So, you know, there's been a lot of celebrity memoir releases and books on various topics. It's not a new thing. It's something that we've seen before, but it seems to be picking up steam. Every other week we are hit with, you know, the promotional aspects of these books, because obviously everyone wants them to be New York Times bestsellers. And so they're doing interviews about it. They're discussing it. They are, you know, pivotal moments in their life that help shape them, their career, and who they are as a person. But is the public becoming a little weary of these topics, or are they really just playing lip service? So first, let me get into Deion Sanders' new book. And next year, in 2024, he is releasing a motivational book. This won't be Deion's first motivational book. It's also not his first book, period. He has authored several. This book will be titled Elevate and Dominate, 21 Ways to Win On and Off the Field. I'm sure it will be a gift to many coaches who may or may not accept it, or at least to their various, you know, teams, their players, to motivate them. Obviously, we've seen what Deion has done over the course of his career, but especially as far as coaching, what he's done from the high school level to what he's done with Jackson State and the attention he brought to HBCUs in that regard, and now what he's doing with Colorado. We know that they started off hot. It's been a little rocky, no pun intended, over the past few games. But, you know, again, they won one game last season. One. So where they're at right now is a vast improvement. All the money that has come into the program, vast improvement. But, you know, do we need a book from Deion? I am not saying if we do or not. I'm not mad at it. I'm just asking the question. You know, you have to remember he's filed 9 different trademark catchphrases over the course of a week, including bull junk, which he says, you know, as his version of BS, and give me my theme music. I'm a little upset about that one. That can't be you can't do that, Deion. We all say that. I don't want to have to be responsible for issuing you out any dollars or anything like that.
You got to say it correctly.
Right.
Give me my darn theme music.
But he just trademarked "Give Me My Theme Music."
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, well, Deion needs to go ahead and throw in darn up in there.
Then maybe, okay, so then it'll be okay. I don't know. We'll see if it, passes by. He also, I think it's 11 total that he's trademarked since he has arrived at Colorado. He also trademarked "It's Personal," which, I mean, maybe depending upon the category, but how you going to trademark "It's Personal"? A lot of stuff is personal. And if I say it's personal, I don't know, Deion. "We Keep Receipts." He wants to trademark that. I don't know if he's going to get all these. "Ain't Nobody Care." And a few others. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I think that obviously Deion is a master motivator. We see how his speeches are moving through social media on TikTok, Instagram, all of the above. So I'm sure his will be another bestseller to add to the collection. Jeezy, who recently released his own memoir, he finally spoke about his marriage and what's going on with it. We know that last month he shocked everybody by filing for divorce. It's only been a couple of years that they have been together. And really, he put up a kind of cryptic Instagram post. He was wearing his wedding ring during a very public interview. So he hasn't really said much about it, right? But he released a statement October 19th, and this is what he had to say. "The decision to end this chapter in my life was not made impulsively and comes with a heavy heart. Despite this, my love and respect for Jeannie remains, and the time we spent together holds a cherished place in my heart. Our beautiful daughter is the best gift from our relationship, and I am committed to assuring she feels the love and stability she deserves." So, kind of a non-statement statement. That's what we would expect you to say. He doesn't owe us anything. We've had that conversation, even though they shared a lot. They take us out the group chat at such inopportune times. But they're allowed to. I am in no way saying that. I'm just saying sometimes we're like, yo, give us everything like you did before. Also, more celebrity memoir news. Britney Spears, her memoir is coming out next week. And in addition to revealing some details about her relationship with Justin Timberlake, the fact that at 19 she had an abortion, she also revealed her drug of choice from her 2000 partying days. Now, she says she turned to drugs to feel less depressed. And she revealed that it was actually ADHD medication, Adderall, that she used to get her through these periods, right? She said, "It was never as wild as the press made me out to be." She said she has no interest in hard drugs, never had a drinking problem, but she said she did take Adderall. "It made me high, yes, but I found that far more appealing was that it gave me a few hours of feeling less depressed and lonely." Now, I should note that her own family, her mother and uncle, we know how that ended, as well as a former employee, Tony Beretta, have all claimed that it was actually other substances that were, happening surrounding Britney. So we don't know, but that is what Britney's claim and version of the events are. So that's what we're rolling with. Also, Serena Williams is releasing 2 new books. Her books will be a memoir. She's already released a prior memoir, but she's releasing another one because obviously a lot has changed in her life since 2009 when she released it. She's a mom of 2 now, married, all of this. So look out for that. Her previous memoir was in 2009, On the Line. So a very different story. And the second book is going to be an inspirational book and will offer rules for living based off of Williams' experience as a philanthropist, an advocate, and a career as an investment unicorn with her Serena Ventures. So we will be looking forward to that. I know we said we're tired of them, but I bet you those will be New York Times bestsellers as well, as will the slate of all of these that have been released. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines. You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are now in Big Tobacco's fantasy land. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's fantasy land, the deadliest industry is your friend. Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
Discover, this is Danny.
Hi, it's Jen Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Are you hungry? 'Cause everyone left after the asparagus sorbet.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
At Susan G. Komen, we believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Welcome back into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So I mentioned that there's a man that was in Spain that faked 20 heart attacks to avoid paying his bill. Can you imagine? You're like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to eat well, and then I'm going to fake 20 times falling out on the floor. He was finally arrested, right? There was one officer that arrested him on 4 different occasions. And like I mentioned, he would order lobster and whiskey, all the most top shelf, high quality items on the menu. They're not releasing his name, right? But they said that the bill was around, listen, it's not even that much, okay? It was like $40, the most recent one, the one that got him busted and arrested and caught up with all of the other stuff. I just want to know, what do people think? Like, really, what are you thinking? How do you think you're not going to get caught? And why? I don't know. Like, cook at home, go for something lighter. Why do you want to take people's hard-earned cash? We are in a different era of things. You know, it's okay, though. It really, really is. So how far would you go for a meal? Is there ever been something that you would act out of character for, that you are, you know, pressed about? I can't imagine it. At any rate, we mentioned Lupita Nyong'o earlier, right? And she recently broke up with Selma Maseka. I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. So he is a writer. They announced their relationship on social media a couple years ago. And she also included recently a message about that breakup that social media is reacting to. They feel it was very powerful words. So she said, there are so many more important things going on in the world right now, and my thoughts are deeply with those that are suffering. At this moment, it is necessary for me to share a personal truth and publicly disassociate myself from someone I can no longer trust. I find myself in a season of heartbreak because of a love suddenly and devastatingly extinguished by deception. Sounds like he cheated, y'all. I am tempted to run into the shadows and hide, only to return to the light when I have regained my strength, enough for me to say, whatever my life is, better this way. But I am reminded that the magnitude of the pain I feel is equal to the measure of my capacity for love. And so I'm choosing to face the pain, cultivating the courage to meet my life exactly as it is, and trusting that this too shall pass. The promise, they say, is that a tender heart is what gives birth to fearlessness. I hope that's true. I shared this to keep it 100 and hoping that the knowledge of my experience might be useful to someone else out there experiencing the grip of heartbreak who is poised to try and escape from that pain and miss out on the wisdom that can come from it. And she hashtagged it breakup. And then she also said, let's face our pain so we don't spread it. So sounds like it was pretty devastating, whatever went down. She gave us poetry. She gave us spoken word. I'm not laughing at her pain. I'm just making light of her method. But she seems to be okay, like I said, because she and Joshua were out there partying the other night at Janelle Monáe's show. So we will see what happens with that. Oh, and you know what I forgot to add when we were discussing Britney Spears? I forgot to say that she mentioned that she's not taking the Jada Pinkett Smith route, that she is not doing any interviews for The Woman in Me. That's the name of her book that comes out on October 24th. She said, although some excerpts have been released, that's just, kind of review thing. So she is not doing a major media tour, taking the opposite approach. Well, we know that Jada has landed on the New York Times bestseller list. We just don't know where yet. I'm sure we'll find that out in a couple of days. And we'll see how Britney's approach works out and which one wins out. Although I'm sure, different audiences, different approach. But again, Jada's thinking long term. She and Will got another book to write at some point in the future. So I mentioned some of the stories that we're going to talk about in hour 2. But one of them, I want you guys to really, really, really think about something. I think sometimes social media users just say stuff just because they have a voice. It's gotta be that. I can't believe that some people actually believe the things that they put out there. And this is one, but I'm curious. It might be a generational thing. It might be, I just don't get it. It's possible. It happens for a lot of things. We're going to get into the details later, but if you could equate Sexy Red's movement to someone, right? This particular social media user said that Sexy Red, Skewy Sexy Red, and I like that song, Pound Town, my cookies pink, my Tootsie Rolls brown, Sexy Red, is this generation's Michael Jackson. I need you guys to calm down a bit. I need you to stop. You can't really mean the things that you say. You can't really, really mean that. I don't know, but we're going to get into the debate and that in the second hour. And of course, we're going to get into Monique's statement. We're going to talk about that and the superstar who had a similar thought that she talked about. And, is that a reasonable thing? are the people that are reacting negatively, because I think on one hand, it is a sentiment that most think about old school kind of values and something that is not really thought about presently, especially as, there's been a more emphasis on feminism and women are taking on their own autonomy. But we're going to get into that. Urban Spinster in the chat says, old girl wrote a whole soliloquy about this breakup. She did. I mean, she said she was hurt, heartbroken, betrayed, lied to, led astray. I don't know, but she wanted to share her heartbreak so that someone else would know they are not alone and they can get through it. And as hurt as they are now, they will love again that deeply. At least that's what she believes. And again, she was outside partying, so, maybe she has reached her happy place and she can talk about it or write a memoir about it, and it'll be on the New York Times bestseller list in a couple years. I don't know. We will have to see. I do think that we go back and forth, because what did I just say a little while ago? Don't take us out of the group chat. We want to know what's happening. But I feel like Lupita and her, I don't know. I can't say that I've clocked the relationship that closely or that we've heard much about it, other than, she had a man and she seemed happy. So whatever happened, I do appreciate that whatever the actual story is, she is opting to keep it to herself, and that, she's just going to move forward, make it happen. We're in a different place, guys. Urban Spencer said bamboozled. Yep. I mean, I'm just keeping in theme because we will be talking about Denzel Washington and some of his more iconic roles later in a conversation that I'm excited to have. I hope you are too. At any rate, listen, that is when we come forward. Right now, we're still on these trending topics. I'm kind of debating. So what I'm doing now is debating on if I should get into this topic or if I should wait, because I feel like I might not have enough time, but I want to say it. Okay, we got 2 whole minutes, so we could talk about this a little bit. All right, Kris Jenner. She suggested that her daughter Chloe may regret not giving Tristan Thompson another chance. She said, I see the way that he looks at you. This was on, of course, their Kardashians TV show. And she thinks her daughter should reconsider. Why do you want to put your daughter through that? Or is this really just the setup and the opening the door because they're already back together in private and they're just priming people for it? I think they should just go for it if that's what they want to do, but really don't say anything. I suppose you can't do that if your life is that of a reality star, but I think that might work for them. I think that they should try it. When we come forward, we are going to have more trending topics and headlines. We are going to get into the idea of women being taught by their husband. Is that something that still happens in current traditional marriages in 2023, or is that something that's mostly old school and you have to be of an older mentality to appreciate that thought process? We'll break that down and more. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Us and we'll step on you. Can't have your cake and eat it too.
Talking all that jazz.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York State is updating its training for child welfare